Picture this. You're in the middle of a meeting, or maybe you're just trying to explain to a mechanic why your car's making that weird clunking noise. It's a normal, low-stakes situation, but then someone raises their voice slightly, or maybe you feel a sudden wave of frustration, and then it happens. That treacherous, familiar sting in the corners of your eyes, the lump in your throat that feels like you swallowed a golf ball. You tell your brain, do not cry. We are adults. We are professionals. We do not cry in front of the mechanic. But your tear ducts? They didn't get the memo. Before you know it, you are leaking water like a broken faucet, and your credibility seems to wash away with it. If this sounds agonizingly familiar, you've probably spent a lifetime being told you're too sensitive, too emotional, or just a crybaby. Society loves to frame crying as a defect, a crack in the armor where weakness seeps out. But what if I told you that your tears aren't a system failure, but a system upgrade? There is a fascinating, often misunderstood psychology behind the people who cry easily. It's rarely about fragility. In fact, if you are the type of person who tears up at dog food commercials or gets misty-eyed during a heated debate, your brain might actually be operating at a higher level of emotional processing than the stoic statue standing next to you. Let's wipe the slate clean and look at what's really happening inside the mind of the easy crier. When we talk about crying, we usually lump it all into one category: sadness. But physiologically and psychologically, there are distinct profiles of criers, and the first one is what we call the empathic resonator. For this person, the boundary between self and other is thinner than average. You know this type. They don't just watch a movie, they survive it. If a character on screen gets their heart broken, the resonator doesn't just understand the sadness intellectually. They feel a physical ache in their chest. This isn't melodrama, it's biology. This comes down to mirror neurons, the cells in our brain that allow us to mimic and understand the actions and emotions of others. For the easy crier, these neurons are often hyperactive. While most people can look at a homeless person and think, that's sad, the resonator's brain simulates the cold, the hunger, and the loneliness. The tears are simply the overflow of that simulation. It's a sign of high emotional intelligence, or EQ. So, if you cry easily at the pain of others, you aren't weak. You are hyper-connected. You are running a high-bandwidth emotional software that others simply haven't installed. But then, there is a different profile. This one is perhaps the most frustrating and the most misunderstood. Let's call this person the angry crier. If this is you, you have my deepest sympathy, because this is a physiological betrayal of the highest order. Imagine you are in an argument. You are right, you have the facts, and you are ready to dismantle the other person's logic. You feel a surge of righteous fury, but instead of roaring like a lion, your lip starts to quiver. Tears spill out. You aren't sad. You are furious. But the other person sees the tears and immediately softens, or worse, they smirk and say, "Why are you getting so emotional?" It completely undermines your authority. But psychologically, angry crying is just a crossed wire in the brain's arousal system. Intense anger and intense sadness both activate the same regions of the brain, the hypothalamus and the amygdala. Your body is flooded with adrenaline and high emotion, and your brain, overwhelmed by the sheer intensity of the surge, pulls the emergency brake: tears. It's a pressure valve release. It's your body trying to regulate a massive spike in cortisol. The angry crier isn't fragile. They are just experiencing an emotion so large that their body has to liquefy it to manage it. This leads us to the mechanism of the biological reset. Have you ever had a week where nothing terrible happened, but 1,000 tiny things went wrong? You spilled your coffee, the printer jammed, someone was rude to you in traffic, you held it together, you were the picture of composure. But then, you drop a spoon on the kitchen floor and suddenly, you are sobbing on the linoleum. For the biological reset type, crying is quite literally a chemical detox. We often forget that there are 3 types of tears: basal for lubrication, reflex for dust, and psychic for emotion. Psychic tears are chemically different. They contain higher levels of stress hormones, specifically adrenocorticotropic hormone, and a natural painkiller called leucine and enkephalin. When you cry easily, your body is essentially taking out the trash. It is flushing out the chemical buildup of stress before it becomes toxic. People who don't cry, who bottle it up, often end up with headaches, ulcers, or high blood pressure because those chemicals have nowhere to go. The easy crier is actually practicing high-efficiency preventative maintenance. You aren't breaking down. You are rebooting. Finally, there is a rarer, quieter profile, the aesthete. This is the person who cries not out of pain but out of beauty. Maybe you've stood in front of a painting in a museum and felt a sudden wave of tears. Maybe a piece of music hits a specific chord and you feel a shiver that turns into weeping. This is often linked to a psychological trait known as openness to experience. People who score high in this trait have a deeper appreciation for art, emotion, and complexity. Psychologically, this is a state of awe. It is the realization that something is bigger, more beautiful, or more profound than your daily existence. It's a form of ego death. For a moment, you disappear, and only the beauty remains. If you cry at sunsets or symphonies, it means your brain is capable of transcending the mundane. It means you are permeable to the world's wonder. While others are just seeing colors or hearing notes, you are having a transcendent experience. That is not a weakness, that is a superpower. So where does this leave us? It leaves us with a heavy truth about how we view strength. We are raised on the myth of the Stoic, the idea that the person who feels nothing is the one who can handle everything. But psychology tells a different story. The person who cries easily is often the one who is processing their reality in real time. They aren't storing trauma for later. They are dealing with it now. They are the ones who can walk into a room and read the emotional temperature instantly. They are the ones who can connect, who can empathize, and who can heal. The next time you feel that sting in your eyes or that lump in your throat, don't apologize. Don't look down. Understand that your body is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is protecting you, connecting you, and resetting you. The tears aren't a sign that you are falling apart. They are the proof that you are fully, vividly alive. Does this resonate with you? Are you the angry crier, betrayed by your own tear ducts during a fight? Or are you the empath who carries the weight of the world's sadness? Maybe you're the biological resetter, just needing to flush the cortisol after a long week. I'm curious, which type feels most like you right now? Let me know in the comments below. It's always interesting to see that we aren't the only ones reaching for the tissues. And if you want to keep exploring the strange, hidden wiring of human behavior, make sure to subscribe. We've got a lot more layers to peel back.